Hey, this is Avish Parashar from BeFunnyAsASpeaker.com, and today I want to talk about something I learned performing improv comedy about why it's so important to have your good energy and attitude when it comes to performing. See, when I ran an improv comedy group in Philadelphia, we used to perform pretty regularly, and what was interesting is I was able to determine pretty early on whether I thought the show was going to be good or not. And it all came down to one factor, and that was the energy level and attitude of the group before the show. Let me explain. We'd all arrive at the theater about an hour early so we could kind of prep and do warm ups and stuff. And I would notice that before we got started, when people were kind of coming in and sitting around, that if people were interacting with each other, kind of laughing, chatting it up, joking, having fun, the following that night, the show would actually be pretty solid. However, on the other hand, if I would walk into that theater and people were kind of sitting by themselves, maybe eating or reading or not really talking, the energy level just felt low, the show would invariably be much worse. Now, as the director, I took steps to address that. Once I figured this out, I would change the type of warm-ups we would do. I would change the length of warm-ups. Maybe on those nights when I came in and people looked down, I'd have to warm up for longer. I altered the warm-ups completely because in the early days when I first learned improv, I was taught you do warm-ups to train the mind, to warm up the tongue, to get the mind thinking in a certain way. And so I ended up doing a lot of these warm-ups that in a lot of ways would bring the energy down, but I felt I had to do them because that's what I had been taught. This is how you warm up for an improv show. Well, eventually I wisened up. Knowing that that was the single greatest factor to the success of the show, I eliminated all of those mental warm-ups, the ones that might get the mind going but would bring the energy down, and replaced them with nothing but energy warm-ups. And I got to tell you, the shows got better as a result. And it's amazing how that one little thing, we saw the improvement go right up. Now, what does this have to do with you and being a speaker and being funny as a speaker? Well, it's the same thing. You want to make sure your energy and attitude are in a good place before you speak. Because if you're negative, if you've got a stressful day, and then you get up to speak and you're kind of tired and you shamble up there, you may deliver the same content, but it's going to be slightly less well delivered than when your energy is up. Now, you may think the audience doesn't notice because you're still doing the same content, but they do. They might not even be able to describe it or put their finger on why, but they'll notice that you're not as engaging, you're not as funny, you're not as interesting, not as charismatic, not as confident. And overall, their evaluation will be less, their desire to rebook you will be less, their desire to do what you say will be less. So you want to get in a place where you can turn it on like that. Now, I've been doing this long enough that I can warm up from my seat in the audience. I don't always do this, but if I don't have time to do a good warm up, I can sit there, I can get myself charged up. Now, I may fidget. People around me might slightly notice I start moving, I start doing something. But I can get my mental state into that high energy state. At first, you may want to consider doing actual warm-ups. Find an empty room you can use, or backstage, or a bathroom, and just stretch, right? Get your blood flowing. Stretch your arms big, move around, shake it out, right? Do twists, whatever it takes, get blood flowing. Do something funny. Listen to music that gets you rocking, whether it's rock music or inspirational music or whatever it is. But do whatever you need to get your blood flowing, get your energy up, and get yourself in a good frame of mind. This might seem like a small thing, but it's going to have a huge difference on how well you deliver your material and how well the audience responds to you. I learned this with improv comedy. It made a huge difference, and I guarantee if you start doing this, it'll make a huge difference in your speaking performance, both in terms of being a great speaker and also in terms of being funny as a speaker and making the audience laugh. So go try that. Add lots of humor to your presentations by increasing your energy, being mentally prepared to perform, and watch the results soar. Thanks again. This is Avish Parashar from BeFunnyAsASpeaker.com.